All right, welcome everyone. We are so excited to have you here today. We're going to talk about matching grants on North State Giving Tuesday. So I'm going to go through how the matching grant tool works on our site, and then we can go through Q&A. If you want to post match parameters in the chat or questions in the chat, we'll definitely have time for that at the end. But I'm Grace with Mighty Cause. Happy to see you again. Hopefully you've attended our other webinars, and if you have not, the recordings are available. And I have with me Miriam from the North State Giving Tuesday team. Miriam, would you like to introduce yourself and say anything?
Hey everyone, probably not the first time you've seen my face, but if it is, I am Miriam. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at the Community Foundation and the point person for North State Giving Tuesday. So just kind of here to answer any specific North State Giving Tuesday questions, but really Grace is our guru on all things match settings. So we're excited that you guys were able to join us.
All right. So first we'll cover just matching grant settings, how to get to them and what to use them for. And then again, we can go through Q&A or match examples if we need to. So anytime, as usual, as you are visiting North State Giving Tuesday to work on your settings or update your profile, you will always want to go to northstategives.org. So this is where we start. You'll see this beautiful homepage. And then in the top right corner, you'll click Login to log into the site. You'll want to make sure that you are logging in with your admin email in order to access your organization page. And once you've logged in, the site will refresh and your name will be showing in the top right-hand corner. So I'm currently logged in as Grace. When I click on my name, I'll see my organization under the organization section of my drop-down menu. I also want to point out you can get to your account settings here. So if you haven't checked out your account settings, I recommend doing that and just seeing what's available for your account. But today we're going to follow into the organization section. So I will simply click on my organization and it brings me to my overview page. From there, we want to navigate to the matching grants tool. So I'll click on fundraising tools here in my left-hand side menu. If for some reason this menu is closed and you don't see it, that's totally fine. It is still there. You can always get it back by clicking these three lines in the top left-hand corner and your menu will expand back out. So I'll click on fundraising tools, and then under fundraising tools, we're going to click on matching grants. So once I'm on the matching grants tool, I'm able to see all of my live matches, which you shouldn't have any live matches right now since giving's not open, but live matches will show here once they are live on the giving day. I can also see my upcoming matches, so I'm able to see matches that I have created to launch in the future. So if you want to set something up now to launch on the giving day or during early giving, you can do that, and then you'll see that here. And then I can also see my past matches. So this is super helpful if you want to remember what you did last year. This is also great if you are a new administrator to your organization and you just need to see what your organization did last year. You can visit the past matches section and see what were the match parameters, what was the match title and who sponsored it, if there was a sponsor, match value, etc. And if you click on this little eye-shaped icon here, the little hint icon, you can see further settings that were set up. So just want to show that to you all here so you can check out what was done last year if you've had matches in the past. So to create a new match, we're going to click Create up here in the right-hand corner, and it's going to open the match creation form. So once I've got the match creation form open, I'm going to fill out the match based on the parameters and the rules that my sponsor has given me. So let's say that I am the sponsor, and then I can choose if I want to hide the sponsor's name publicly. So if you do have like a board member or a donor who wants to provide an anonymous match, you'll want to check this box here to keep their name hidden publicly. If you have a company, so let's say Mighty Cause is sponsoring this match, you may not want to check that box because they want some recognition if they are a corporate sponsor of a match. Along with that, you may want to upload a photo here. So you simply click on the photo icon and it's going to upload our uploader tool onto the screen. And you can choose a local file to bring in either a logo or another image to go with your match. So always using the image as a best practice so that there's something engaging for donors to look at. Again, super easy. If you have a corporate sponsor, it'll be a logo of your sponsor. If it is an individual match, you can choose a program photo or other related photo that may make sense, just to, again, kind of keep that engaging. From there, we'll put the match value in. So let's say we're sponsoring $1,000. This match value is the total value of the match itself. So this would not include the donations that are going to be matched. This is truly just the match value itself. And then the most fun part is deciding if you should include the match value in your page metrics or not. So I think this is where we get the most questions, and I'm going to try to explain it in kind of the most binary terms I can just to keep it really simple. But again, if you are unsure if you should include the match value in page metrics, you can always either put it in the chat today if you know your match situation, or you can write to support@mightycause.com, which is our support email. So kind of the easiest way to determine if you should check this box or not is if you are receiving the match offline or online. So if you're receiving the match as a check or via like your website giving link, something that is not Mighty Cause, you will want to leave this box checked. And so that means that for every dollar given, its match value will also appear in your page metrics. It also means if you leave this box checked that you do not want to receive the match on Mighty Cause. So again, we're thinking like paper checks or something that's being paid through another website, something that will not pass through Mighty Cause at all. If you are receiving the match on Mighty Cause, so that's a donation via our website of any kind, you would uncheck this box and then you can select a reason. And usually it would be this top one. They intend to fulfill their commitment by donating through my page. And you would then exclude the match value from your page metrics since your donor plans to donate the match value online. And that just ensures that no dollars get double counted. You'll receive the match value in one lump sum via their donation. So again, checking the box if we're receiving it off the Mighty Cause platform, and then unchecking the box if you intend to receive the donation on the platform. So from there, you'll then title your match. So if we're thinking of a Mighty Cause match, let's say Mighty Cause matches your donation. This is where you can make it a little fun. So this is not the most fun title, but it definitely works. It's very clear what the match is. But this is where you can get creative and have a fun match title if you'd like. This is what we'll be displaying on the match card on your page. Once you've titled your match, you'll then set the start and end dates of your match timeframe. So the start date should likely be no earlier than early giving, since donations will not be open until early giving begins. However, you may want to match donations on a specific day or only on Giving Tuesday. So think about when you want the match to start, which is when the match will open. So as early as early giving or perhaps on a very specific day. And then as far as the start time, if you're doing a time frame that is multiple days or one full day, you'll just leave the start time at 12 a.m. And then you can set the end date for either the end of that day or the end of the entire giving time frame at the end of Giving Tuesday. And you'll update the end time to the end of the event. So that would be if you want it to cover the whole event, all donations coming in from early giving on November 18th. Thank you, Miriam. She's putting some dates in the chat to be helpful here. But from early giving till the end of Giving Tuesday itself. Alternatively, maybe your match donor wants to match all donations from, noon to 1 p.m., like a lunchtime match. Then you would set that start time and end time to a very specific time and date of the giving day from noon to 1 p.m. in this example. So again, start date and end time, those are up to you or the donor to set, but you do not want it earlier than early giving. So once you've set your start date, time, and date, end, and time, you will choose what kind of match you would like to set up. So our site defaults to the most commonly set up match, which is just 100% of each donation will be matched. That is a standard 1-to-1 match. From there, you can add additional parameters. So you may want to match up to a maximum dollar amount per donation, which you would check this box and enter that amount here. I recommend doing this if you have a smaller match, because as we know, matching grants can be anything from $1,000 in this example. It could be higher than that. It also could be lower than that. We've seen matching grants for $500 or even $200. And the way to make those stretch further is to put a maximum on the dollar amount matched per donation. So if you have maybe a $200 or $250 match, you could match up to $10 or maybe $25 per donation. That way your match will extend longer. So that's one option there, is matching up to a maximum dollar amount. You can also set a minimum per donation before the match is applied. So we have had donors in the past say, I want to match every dollar of every donation over $50 or over $100. So they're incentivizing higher dollar matches, which helps you fundraise more. You can set that minimum here. So maybe we want to match every donation $100 or more at 100%. So that would be if you were trying to incentivize larger gifts on your platform. Again, totally optional. If you don't want to do that, you can always uncheck it. You can also choose if you want to include offline donations in the match. I recommend unchecking this because typically the online matching tool is used to incentivize online donations. So you often do not want to match an offline donation since that's something that you enter anyways. So as you're entering it, you don't want to have to strategically figure out when to enter offline donations so that they don't eat up the match. And especially if you have multiple team members helping with data entry or fundraising on this day, I would hate to see you open a match for $1,000 and then your colleague enters a $1,000 offline gift and then the match is closed before it's even begun. So we definitely want to uncheck that box unless you are intentionally including offline donations for a strategic reason. And then you also have the option to include the organizer fundraisers in the match. I recommend including this one, so definitely keeping this checked because that means that the match will trickle down to your peer-to-peer fundraising pages. So those are those individual fundraising pages that we covered in the last webinar. I recommend having the match trickle down. That way, no matter how a donation comes in, it will be matched by your organization match. If for some reason you do not want to do that though, again, you want to make the match go further and you want just donations coming through your page to be matched, you can uncheck this box as well. And then the final option is to apply the match once per donor. So this will keep the match to only once per unique donor. So if someone with an email address gives 3 times in a row for whatever reason, it's only going to match the first donation that they give. And this is great if you think people are going to enter a lot of small gifts for some reason to help you win a certain prize, whatever that prize may be. However, it will only match per email address. So if a donor uses multiple different email addresses, they will get matched each of those times since the email address is the unique identifier in our system. So you can also decide if you want to apply match once per donor or not. And then the other type of match we have, so those are all the parameters available. The other type we match is also a cumulative threshold match. So we have the option, a lot of people call these challenge matches because you are challenging yourself to meet a certain goal. So this means that the total match will not apply until you've raised the dollars equal to the match. So in this case, my match would not apply until I've raised $1,000 total. I can also set it to apply when a certain quantity of donations is received. So some donors will say, I will match $5,000 if you can get 50 donors. So then I would type in 50 here. And once we reach 50 donations, then the match will be applied. If they want to take it one step further and only allow you to have the match if you receive a certain number of unique donors, then you can choose how many unique donors you need to receive the match in this field. So that's the main difference, kind of these two here. We've got a quantity of donations, so that's whether the donors are unique or not. And then we also have the unique donor threshold available as well. So those are our cumulative threshold matches, also known as challenge matches, pretty commonly. Again, most typically, you're probably going to set up just a 100% match. You may put some parameters on it as far as a maximum or a minimum, but really pretty straightforward there for a typical match that's given in the community. The final setting is to put an email here to receive a notification when the match is closed. I recommend putting your admin email here so that you will receive the notification when the match is closed, especially because that email will send a link to fulfill the match. So depending on whether you want the donor to give the match online or not, or if they've already given the match online, it just helps avoid confusion there if they receive an email with a link to fulfill the match, but they've already donated on their page or they gave you a check already. They don't need to follow the link. It's completely optional. So I just recommend having your admin email here so that you can get notified when the match is closed. And then if you do need to prompt the donor to fulfill the match online, you can then forward them that email with the link and ask them to fulfill the match via the link. So again, just kind of putting your admin email here is my personal preference for this tool. So once I've created a match, I will click Create Match. If it is happening now, so if you make this match during the time frame you want it to happen, it will show up as live right now. Again, if you set it up with a future date, it will go into upcoming matches. So let's just go ahead and do that. So let's set it up for the 14th instead, and you'll see it in your upcoming match donation section. While the matches are live and upcoming, you do have the capability to edit them if you need to increase the value of the match or change the time frame at all. You can always update the match while they are live or upcoming. Once the match is closed, it cannot be edited. So if we need to make any changes retroactively, you'll just need to contact support for help with that. And then when the match is live, so I'm going to go to our sample site for this instead so I can show you what that looks like. When the match is live, you will have a match badge on your organization name in search, and you will have a match badge on your profile on your donate button. So let me get that pulled up just to show you what it looks like so you can see what a live match would be. Oh, here we go. So if we were to go to our search here, let me just change our view. You'll see that when a donation is live or a match is live, you'll see this yellow donations matched banner on your search tile. So again, this is our sample site now. I just want you to see what this looks like. So in this example, the cookie cart has a live match. So they're going to have this yellow highlighted banner, which draws a little bit of attention to your organization. And there's also a filter where donors can filter by donations are matched at this time. So having a match not only incentivizes donors to give during certain timeframes, it also somewhat incentivizes during search for new donors to maybe get attention on your page. And then when the match is live, you'll notice when I go to the cookie cart page, we've got a little match live badge on the donate button. So this shows me there's a match available if I donate. And then when I click on it, it's going to bring me down to this sample match tile. So this is what your match tile will look like as well, with all of the information you input into that form. So we can see how much of the match is left, who the sponsor is, if that information is public, and any conditions related to the match. And then also want you to see here, that's what that image looks like on the match badge. So again, you can upload a logo or other image to go on this matching grant badge on the site. Okay, so I know that was a lot of information, but that is our matching grants tool. It is very helpful. It has a lot of great options. Again, we know it has a lot of options, so we are happy to help. You can always write to the support email in the chat that Miriam put in there to ask questions. We're also happy to just check that it's set up correctly if you're unsure. But I do want to open it for Q&A right now. If you have questions or match examples, please put them in the chat and we can talk through that. While we're waiting for questions to come through, Miriam, is there anything you wanted to add about matching grants?
No, other than I did see of the folks who are here today, I know some of them have already secured a match promise from some of their donors, so that's always really exciting.
Awesome.
So good job being here, guys. Appreciate you. And
Excellent.
we will be, like Grace said, this is recording today, so we'll be
Mhm.
sharing it on our resource page. That's where you can also find the recording from the previous training Grace did that she mentioned earlier about using the different components in your organization page, and then also setting up those peer-to-peer campaigns as well. So try to make everything accessible for folks, especially since we know a lot of you are doing this not as your day job, and
Mhm.
so can't always join us midday for these opportunities live.
And
Is there
actually,
a
since you,
chance
oh, go
that
ahead.
you did such a great job that there are really no questions? We still have people in the room.
I hope that's what it is. But I will stop recording just in case any questions are specific. We don't want them on the recording.
Hmm.
Um,
Perfect.
and then we can keep